In my own pursuits of creating a brand, I made every possible mistake you could make. Throughout all the fire, you're able to come out with a product that's right. Hey, what's up? Mike Honeycutt. I work at the Leverage showroom. I manage the Midwest region for a number of their brands. And on the side, I've also worked on getting my own brand started as well. Well, at the Leverage, what I do for my 9 to 5, as you could say, quote unquote, I work for a denim company called Embellish NYC. I work for another premium contemporary line called Lifted Anchors. And then I also work for a kids line called House of Junior. I've worked with them for about 2 years now, all the while on the side working on my own personal line, a brand called Joyous Resolution. Joyous was kind of an idea that I had and a passion I had ever since I was a kid. Honestly, I came up with the name in high school. What it is a fashion-forward brand based for the fans of the collegiate world. I myself played college football for the University of Utah. I've been in the sports background my whole life, but I've always kind of had this creative passion deeply rooted within me from the beginning of my life, and now I finally have the ability to kind of pursue it and give it to the world, and that's what Joyous is to me. We're starting right now with our roots, meaning the University of Utah, and bringing them fan gear that's fashion forward and different and stands out, but ideally I see it growing and being NCAA wide, and every single university I want to cater to and be able to offer products that are different, that stand out. I think creative freedom is the ultimate goal of anyone that wants to create and do something outside the standard 9 to 5. When you're doing it for yourself, obviously it's everything. It's 10 times more meaningful than, selling it or producing it for someone else. When it's your own thing, it means all the world. It means way more than, doing anything for someone else. There's nothing better as a creative than to be able to showcase your work, your vision, your passion, your heart, your desire in your product versus someone else's. You're not necessarily getting to capture that vision that you ultimately deem or want to dictate. You're doing it based off of someone else's. So creative freedom is what every creative strives for. Working a 9 to 5 for someone else, and I say 9 to 5 meaning working for someone else's brand or corporation or company, you're not the one personally taking the risk. You're not the one personally responsible for it, whereas that person is that's in charge of it. So I think one of the biggest things in being an entrepreneur or starting your own brand or company or collective, whatever you want to call it, is that you're captaining the ship, you're pioneering the road, and you're the one taking those risks. So I think that's ultimately the biggest difference. Lessons learned, obviously we've all heard of Murphy's Law, where everything that could happen will happen. In my own pursuits of creating a brand, I had no roots in any industry in fashion whatsoever, or any idea as to how to produce or do anything. I kind of just dove in. I just jumped into the fire full-fledged, and I made every possible mistake you could make. Literally every step of the way, from production to design, to pattern making, to producing a product, to marketing a product. I literally have made one mistake here or there. I think it's tough because you got to know how to take those punches and to continually press forward. I had a vision. I had a burning vision of what I wanted to do, and I knew exactly what I was going to accomplish and how I was going to do it. I had a detailed plan, and a lot of the times that plan goes out the window when you wake up and, a total X factor comes out of the way, and everyone has a game plan until they get punched in the face. And then all the shit just goes right out the window, and then you got to act on instincts. I think for me that was like the biggest trial in starting and doing my own brand and my own clothing, is that I didn't necessarily know all the right answers. I had to find them. I had to go through having things come out incorrectly. Throughout all the fire, you're able to come out with a product that's right. And I mean, it's not always easy, man. It's definitely not always easy. This is kind of where the magic happens in terms of the after hours. After I finish, what I do during the day and working for the leverage and other people's brands and taking care of everything there, I've had to find an area where I could ultimately curate the products that I wanted, build, what I wanted, and I've kind of turned my own room into that, in a sense. This is my own little mini studio. I had to work 2 jobs, I actually was a pizza boy here in Newport. I worked 70, 75 hours a week just in my jobs to pay checks so I could make a payment to make rent, which I think was a big struggle. All the while working for the brand that I started, Joyous, working in the after hours till 4, 5, 6 in the morning, countless sleepless nights, day after day after day. The key thing is understanding how to dictate your time, how to dictate your value, and how to apply your skill set. So I think managing your creative sphere in that sense, and being able to not only work hard, make enough money to get by, but also finance and structure and build what you're ultimately trying to do, your side project, your side hustle, whatever that might be. For me, it's Joyous. For you, it might be something different. That's very critical. The only person that'll ever stop you is yourself. Granted, you have to manage your time, manage your, abilities, and be able to plan and do things the right way, but I'm nowhere near where I want to be. Nowhere near. Pressing forward and continually striving for more, I think that's the essence of what makes me go, what drives me. I live and die to create. I live and die to build, to showcase your vision for the world. What better way to do it than in fashion? For me, everyone has their own outlet, but I'm just excited for the future, and I hope that I can humbly continue to press forward and make strides and leaps and bounds in the ways that I want, but all the while managing and balancing day-to-day life and be able to get a lot of enjoyment out of it.